Welcome to Naraya Speaks, a space for the thoughts we usually keep in the journal, the notes app, and late night conversations. Here, we talk healing, relationships, self worth, grief, growth, and everything in between. So, whether you're listening while driving, cleaning, studying, or trying to figure out life in real time, I'm glad you're here. This is Naraya Speaks.
Hey everyone, welcome to Naraya Speaks. If you are new, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And with Father's Day just passing, oh my goodness, I'm excited. I've been seeing something all over social media that honestly made me stop and think. And this is the heart of this episode: polygamy. Not hidden, not whispered about, not something people are secretly doing behind closed doors anymore. It's trending. Reality TV shows, TikToks, podcasts, entire households with multiple wives and dozens of children are becoming public conversations now, and people are either fascinated by it or completely disturbed by it. And one thing that really caught my attention recently was seeing a man with multiple wives and around 20 children. I don't know if anyone has seen that show that just came out called This Is Polly, but I'm talking about Yahweh and the Yahweh family. I think everybody has the name Yahweh in front of their name, something like that. Multiple wives, and if we could round it up, it would be 20 kids. I think right now it's actually 18 if I'm being accurate. So now society constantly pushes the image of the traditional nuclear family: mom, dad, kids, one household. But meanwhile, these alternative family structures are gaining massive visibility online, and people are beginning to openly question whether monogamy is even realistic anymore. So Father's Day just passed, and I've been wondering, what does it actually mean to be a present father to 20 children across multiple households? Like, genuinely present, not just financially, not biologically, emotionally present, because there are only 24 hours in a day. And that brings me to the first thought: the logistics of love and fatherhood. Let's really think about it. How does one father equally pour into 20 different children emotionally while simultaneously maintaining multiple romantic relationships? Not surface level, not quote unquote checking in. I mean, truly knowing your children, their fears, their personalities, their insecurities, their favorite foods, their birthdays, okay? Their emotional triggers and their dreams. Children remember presence, not just provision. And I think sometimes online culture romanticizes the aesthetic of these huge family systems without discussing the emotional mathematics behind them. Because time is finite. Mental energy is finite. Even emotional bandwidth is finite. And then there's the financial side, the pressure of maintaining multiple households, multiple women, multiple children, multiple emotional dynamics. That is an enormous mental load. Now, some people argue that these family systems create a quote unquote village: more adults, more support, more hands helping raise children. And honestly, I can see why some people are drawn to that idea, especially because modern monogamous households are exhausted too. In monogamy, two people are often expected to be best friends, lovers, therapists, financial partners, co parents, emotional support systems, and still somehow maintain passion on top of survival. The pressure cooker burns people out. So I understand why some people are beginning to question relationship structures altogether. But personally, the more I sit with this conversation, the more I realize I don't agree with polygamy at all. Not because social media tells me not to, not because I think people cannot make their own choices, but because when I think about the foundation of family, I think about Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve and Jessica and Ashley. I think somewhere along the line, people started confusing desire with emotional capacity because let's really be honest here. A lot of men who secretly want polygamy already struggle maintaining one healthy relationship. So instead of being honest about wanting multiple women, they enter monogamous relationships and cheat anyways. And somehow society has normalized dishonesty more than honesty itself. But even deeper than that, I think I genuinely think a lot of this comes down to ego and greed. Because why would a man want to divide himself across multiple women, multiple households, and multiple children when it's already difficult to emotionally, mentally, financially, and spiritually manage one relationship well? Love is not just collecting people, love requires presence, discipline, leadership. Provision, emotional intelligence, patience, and children are not accessories to prove masculinity. They are human beings that require attention, guidance, protection, and emotional safety. And honestly, most men cannot even afford one woman comfortably nowadays, yet somehow fantasize about multiple wives. That's not leadership to me. That sounds like a fantasy. Because if we remove the aesthetics, the social media clips, the reality TV edits, and the ego, some of these situations honestly start looking less like love and more like imbalance. And I think that's why this conversation matters because people keep discussing polygamy from the perspective of adult desire, but not enough people are discussing the emotional experience of the children inside of those dynamics. So, who gets the father's time? Who gets emotional consistency? Who feels overlooked? Who quietly learns that love must be competed for? What happens on birthdays and holidays when one parent is stretched across multiple homes? What happens when one wife has to overwork herself financially because the father cannot realistically carry the weight of that many children in households alone? What happens when children begin comparing the attention, gifts, affection, and time given to one household versus another? Children do notice those things. And sometimes what adults call quote unquote alternative lifestyles, children may experience as emotional inconsistency, confusion, competition, instability, or even absence. And honestly, I think the media also plays a major role in shaping confusion around relationships, identity, and intimacy now. Growing up, television felt very different than it does right now. Now it feels like almost every show has become hyper focused on sex, relationships, shock value, or pushing conversations about identity into every corner of entertainment. And no, this is not shade towards the LGBTQ community. People deserve dignity and respect, but I do think many parents feel overwhelmed trying to navigate overexposure in modern media while simultaneously trying to protect childhood innocence and emotional development. And yes, parents are absolutely responsible to monitor what their children consume, but that responsibility becomes even harder when a parent is already emotionally and financially overextended across multiple partners, multiple households, and many children. So, how present can that father realistically be? Because there is no way to infinitely divide one person without something somewhere receiving less. So, before I close tonight's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Maybe the issue isn't that monogamy stopped working. Maybe the issue is that discipline stopped being desirable. Maybe commitment requires sacrifice, presence, consistency, honesty, and a level of emotional maturity that social media rarely glamorizes anymore. I guess that's why they call it the microwave generation. Everything quick, fast, and hurry, and it looks good. But is it that good for you? I don't think so. Radiation is not the best for the body, right? So it is easy to fantasize about multiple partners when you only focus on desire. But relationships are not built on fantasy alone, they are built on responsibility. And children, especially, feel the difference between being loved and being emotionally prioritized. Because no amount of money, gifts, or social media aesthetics can replace a truly present parent. Not on birthdays, not on holidays, not during hard conversations, not during moments when a child simply needs to feel seen. And maybe that is a deeper conversation we need to start having. Not just what adults want, but what children experience inside the environments we create for them. So, my question for you today is this: do you think people truly desire freedom, or do you think many people are simply struggling with the responsibility that deep commitment requires? And at what point does personal desire begin conflicting with emotional stability for the people around us? If you feel like this conversation is a conversation that somebody else needs to hear, don't hesitate to share this episode. And as always, this has been Naraya Speaks, and thank you for listening.